Welcome to the explainer. So, imagine you're sitting in a dead quiet waiting room. Your palms are sweating, your heart is literally racing, and you're just staring at a closed door. You're probably running through all the things you maybe should have put on your resume. Heck, maybe even debating if proficient in Microsoft Word still counts as a special skill. We've all been there, right? Today, we're jumping right into a really fascinating scenario about a high-stakes interview. It's a tense standoff that perfectly captures the universal struggle between what we look like on paper and who we actually are when we finally walk into the room. Let's get into it. Picture this setup. We are dropped right into the middle of this heavy, thick silence of an interview room. Across a table, you've got two men locked in a quiet but super intense standoff. On one side, there's Mr. Hasan, the evaluator. He's basically the gatekeeper holding the keys to a major career opportunity. And on the other side sits a young guy named Arif. You can practically feel the psychological weight in the room. This isn't just your casual morning coffee chat. This is one of those defining moments where futures are decided, and the tension is just off the charts before anyone even opens their mouth. Okay, let's dive into this, because this is where it gets really interesting. When Arif walks in, there's this immediate, fascinating contrast. His attire is completely ordinary. He isn't wearing a flashy suit or some expensive watch designed to consciously impress the interviewer. But what actually creates the microtension in the room is his demeanor. Despite his totally unremarkable clothes, he enters calm, smiling, and radiating what can really only be described as a strange confidence. It's just coming right through his eyes. He has this unshakable presence that immediately commands the space. And that phrase, strange confidence, is absolutely crucial here. Think about what makes confidence strange in a corporate setting. Usually, if we know our paperwork falls short and we might feel underqualified on paper, our nerves completely take over. We either overcompensate big time or we kind of just shrink down in our seats. But in this scenario, Arif's raw self-assurance relies entirely on his own internal belief, completely defying his resume. It's this unspoken, incredibly powerful psychological statement saying he firmly believes he belongs at that table, regardless of what the traditional metrics say. And this brilliantly illustrates a core credential paradox. It's like a giant puzzle for the evaluator. On one hand, you have Arif, whose CV is noticeably missing a major degree. On the other hand, you have his unseen competition, applicants coming from the country's absolute top educational institutions. Put yourself in the evaluator's shoes for a second. Impartially speaking, Mr. Hasan is facing a highly logical dilemma. How on earth do you evaluate two completely different types of candidates? One brings the safety and security of prestigious, proven academic track records. The other brings this enigmatic, undeniable personal presence, but literally lacks the conventional paper to back it up. The tension in the room starts to mount. Mr. Hasan looks down at the resume, looks back up at Arif, and directly addresses the elephant in the room. Arif, you don't have any big degree on your CV. It is a heavy, very deliberate observation. Mr. Hasan is drawing a hard line in the sand here between Arif's calm, smiling demeanor and the harsh, objective reality of his missing credentials. So the crucial point is really understanding the precise mechanism of Mr. Hasan's logic. First, he directly acknowledges the missing degrees. He isn't ignoring the facts or beating around the bush at all. Second, he explicitly weighs this gap against a harsh reality. Elite talent is sitting right there in the applicant pool. Psychologically, an employer is wired to mitigate risk, right? Mr. Hasan absolutely must rigorously question a candidate who lacks traditional credentials because it's his job to protect his company's interests from an unknown variable. This strict logical progression leads him directly to the third step, posing the unavoidable challenge. And then the silence breaks. Mr. Hasan looks at the young man with the strange confidence and asks, "Why should I give you the job?" Boom. All the pleasantries, all that unshakable presence, and all the missing degrees just collide right into the single demand for justification. The evaluation is no longer theoretical. It is officially time for Arif to prove his worth. Which leaves us with a massive question to chew on. When degrees fall short, is confidence actually enough to win the table? We are left hanging right in the middle of this standoff, facing the timeless tension between paper credentials and raw human potential. It really challenges us to reflect on what truly matters when we evaluate the potential of others, and honestly, how we project our own worth when we step into high-stakes environments. Thank you for joining me for this explainer. Keep analyzing the world around you, and I will catch you next time.